Buenos Dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye. Look, in a menudo style in direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled, and I'm very much so appreciative. So gracias. I appreciate it. Something popped up on my feed yesterday, and I wanted to touch on it and kind of elaborate on it because I'm seeing a change. I'm seeing a difference, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. See, when you get involved in the rap game, podcasting, content creators, any type of thing that puts you out there, you have to mature. You get better at what you do. You perfect your craft. And I can see that lately, Lefty Gunplay has been doing just that. He's been getting better at his craft, being more humbled, thinking about what he says before he says it, and basically not doubling back. I know that's a word people use. He's not doubling back in his ways of thinking, but he's doubling back and reanalyzing the situation, right? So we all know that Adam 16 has been saying a lot of bad shit about Lefty, or he said a lot of shit about Lefty because Lefty wouldn't go back to his podcast. And for those of you that don't know, man, you know, the first time Lefty went on his podcast, I'm sure he felt disrespected by Adam. Some of the things Adam was saying, Adam called him the Mexican Crip Mac. And Lefty felt played. He definitely felt played, but he was still young in his career just a few months back. And it goes that fast that he wasn't trying to hear that shit. He wasn't trying to play into fucking Adam's shenanigans and his interesting questions, the questions that he asked that are meant to disrupt, to instigate, to divide people, right? He was not going to go out like that, but he understood that No Jumper, the podcast, was part of his elevation and his process into what he was doing, right? Basically, if you're going to go on every other podcast, you're going to end up there eventually. Why not? Why not start off with the big dog and then go, to the rest of them? So he did. And he felt played. And he felt even more so played because Adam, after that talk or that pod, whatever they did together, he started to bring on Norteños. He started to bring on guys from up north, Northern California. And every single one that he brought on, he started to ask questions about Lefty Gunplay. And some of them fell into the trap and disrespected Lefty or said, man, fuck that cat. We ain't tripping off that cat. And some didn't. Okay? And that right there only antagonized the situation and instigated the situation and made it much worse. And I think someone in Lefty's camp or Lefty himself realized that. And he said, fuck this cat Adam. This cat Adam is trying to play both sides. He's bringing the opposition down to LA. He's bringing the opposition to the area without permission, without, checking in with someone. And he felt some type of way. So he said, you know what? Adam asked him, hey, and asked Adam Smart, come back onto the podcast. We'll discuss it. Come back. We'll talk about it. Of course. Right? Because he knew that would probably be his biggest watched live, or show, because everybody would want to see Lefty crash out and Lefty talk his shit. But Lefty said, nah, homie, you're going to have to run me 10 bands. I'm already major now. I done came up. You want to see me? You're going to have to run me 10 bandzos. Straight up. No, we're not talking about bands from the Rose pulling up to the trailer park. We're talking about 10 bands. We're going to need that. And Adam felt, he was upset, highly upset. So he took to the airwaves with Whack 100 on Power Rule, and they fucking shredded Lefty. Talked all kinds of shit. I'll say it was mostly Whack talking the shit because that's what Whack does. But definitely Adam participated in it, and they just ate fucking Lefty up and talked about how he wasn't talented, how he ain't shit, how he was like a fizzle pop, he's going to fizzle out, how he was like a candle, you just blow him out. They just talked their high power shit. And it was funny to see two grown men just go in on this youngster. Instead of trying to help to elevate him and bring him up, they were there to tear him down. And everybody knows it was because Adam was pissed that Lefty told him, toma, 10 bands or shove it up your ass. That's what it was all about. But anyways, I see an interview with Lefty yesterday. And lately, I'm going to keep it real. I don't know what it was that humbled Lefty. A lot of people are saying it was bands pulling up to his neighborhood that humbled him. A lot of people are saying he's just maturing. I tend to believe the second one. I think he's just getting seasoned. As you start to become seasoned in the industry, you start to recognize the snakes, the shiesty approaches, the culebras, right? The cockroaches. And rather than just step on them, you walk around them. They're going to be there no matter what you do. You can buy all the spray you want in the world, eh? They're just going to come on back, right? And I think he realizes the haters and the trolls are part of the program. And so rather than feed into the bullshit, he's matured to a certain point where he now thinks about what he says before he says it. And he's starting to realize that the bag means much more and his career means much more than a whole bunch of haters getting you crossed up. People like Adam that get you in the crossfire. But anyways, according to what he said yesterday on this podcast, and I'm not sure exactly what podcast it was, or I'd give them their shine, right? But they asked him about Adam, and he said, you know what, I'm going to meet with Adam today. That Adam asked if he could pull up on him to have a meeting to apologize. Adam wanted to apologize to Lefty, and from what Lefty said, he goes, I don't blame Adam. Adam's just stupid. He's a podcaster. He's allowed to have anybody he wants, on his podcast, that's for sure. He was going to hear him out and whatever. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing that two men could sit down. See, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's one thing I could respect. The tiniest thing I could respect about Adam is that at least he taps in and is willing to pull up to sit down to talk about it. Now, there has been some situations where he wasn't willing to talk about it because he felt pressured, threatened, or whatever. But obviously, he doesn't feel that Lefty is that way in real life, that Lefty's a threat to him. So he's willing to go sit down and discuss it. And again, man, besides what Adam has said about Lefty and what Lefty has said about Adam, two grown men sitting down over a fucking iced tea ain't gonna hurt nobody. They could sit down and talk about it, talk it out, talk out their differences. And perhaps, I'm sure Adam's gonna try to convince Lefty Gunplay to go back on his podcast. And Adam's the master manipulator at that. Talk all his shit, then apologize. Talk all his shit, then apologize. But when you're in the wrong, you do have to take the initiative to do that. There's been several times where I've said shit and people felt some type of way. They took it out of context or maybe it was slightly disrespectful or a little bit subliminal-ish or whatever. As content creators, we're going for shock value. We're talking that shit. We're having a good time. And some people don't like that. Some people take it differently. That's how Lefty felt about some of the things, some of the harsh criticism or the critiquing I was giving about his talents and about what was going on with them. He felt some type of way and he voiced that. He went on a podcast and he said that vato fucking Gunners Collective. But he also shouted me out. That's a fact in a different podcast. So I respect it. I know that he watches. So I know that this message that's being pushed doesn't fall on deaf ears. Not only is it for the gente and the people to recognize and hear what's going on, but it's also for him directly. And I'll say gracias, but I'll also say this. I believe he's matured to a certain point now where I gotta respect it. I respect the moves he's making. He's making power moves wearing showers. You see, he's behind the scenes networking. Doubling back on some of the things he said in the past in a good way. Things like, and I did a video on it last night. Things like, fuck that. Fuck up there, the other side. I'm not working with them vatos. I'll never work with them. I don't like them vatos. Now he's like, well, I'm open to talks. Maybe. I don't really got too much against them dudes. Everybody knows when it comes to the north-south issue, it's going to always be tricky. There's always going to be vatos that are poisoning the gente. There's always going to be vatos that are, not willing to accept the fact that some vatos just rap better or some vatos are just move better. There's always going to be that back and forth. There's always, oh shit, look, I got hats falling and shit. Let's see what that one is. Bam, bang. But there's always going to be some type of animosity or friction between the two groups. That's understandable. That's cool. It is what it is. Not everybody can get along all the time. But to sit down and at least be open for conversation or say maybe, perhaps, that's a great thing, eh? Can't be mad at that. Now, Lefty did say Adam was stupid, right? And he hit it. He hit the head on the nail on the head. Ding, got it. It's not that Adam's stupid. I believe myself, Adam's very intelligent. He's slick, right? But he does stupid shit. And he does stupid shit knowing, all knowing. He doesn't do stupid shit because he's stupid. He does stupid shit because he knows the drama and the dumb shit is what everybody wants to see. You know, Adam has been granted passes many times to disrespect people and then double back and then apologize. And then it's all good. He talks shit, or what he does is he manipulates other people to talk shit about them, not only for the soundbite and for the view, but also because as long as it ain't coming out of his mouth, you know, it's all good. But here's the kicker on that. What people don't realize. If you allow someone to come on your platform, and this goes to all podcasters, all content creators. If you allowed someone else to come on your fucking podcast and disrespect the next man, that's just like you doing it. You're allowing them the platform to do that. If you put that out there, you push that out there. That's on you. You know, don't blame the next man. Well, I didn't say it was him. I didn't know that he was going to say it. But after, if it ain't live, if it's live, hands off, homie. Hey, dispensa, shit happens. But if it's not fucking live, it's pre-recorded, and you allow Vatos to woof that shit, you can bleep that out. You can edit that out. That's a fact. But of course you're not, because the drama sells. That we all know that. So there wasn't no bleeping out or editing when him and Whack 100 were going in on Lefty a week ago, when they were calling him all types of poop butts and all types of suckers and all types of fakeries, and he can't rap worth shit, and he's a fucking industry plant, and he's just he's in the position he's in because he's not talented, but they're supporting the popularity, and I mean just a whole lot of shit. And then a week and a half later, hey, can I get at you? Right? Hey, Lefty, can I apologize to you for all the caca and all the bullshit that I said? And now can we work together humbly and get it together? I guarantee, and I'm not here to hate, if Lefty decides, because he's changing his ways, if he decides to accept that apology, obviously he's already accepted it. He's willing to sit down with the man like he said, man, I ain't mad at that, Vato. He even said Adam could bring anybody he wants on his podcast. Good move. Smart move. At the end of the day, you need to realize when you're just a rapper, even a gang member in the streets, you can apply pressure, but you cannot change what the next man is doing with his business. That's his business. You can't dictate his program. You could threaten. You could talk about pulling up, but that's already too much talking. Do you understand what I'm saying? Most gangsters, real life ones that are really fucking been through it in the streets, in and out of prison, function at a certain level, they're not going to talk or alert any authority or alert anyone that their presence is going to be felt. It's just felt, and then they're gone. And everyone's like, ooh, shit, did you hear what happened? What? Lefty pulled up, knocked some dude out, and then kept it pushing. You'll hear about it after the fact. You're never going to hear about, hey, I'll be on my way. I'm going to go over there. The next time I see you, I'm going to sock you. That's not real gangster shit. Believe me, I know. Real ones don't do that. They just do what they do. And that's it. Because I've said it many times. Everybody watches social media. Law enforcement, authorities, everyone. They watch it, right? And it is a form of dry snitching if you tell someone, hey, Holmes, when I see you, I'm going to get off on you. That's the truth. That's a fact. You're basically letting everyone know for clout or to look cool or for whatever. But I'm here to tell you that shit is played out. This ain't elementary school no more. You don't do that. Just fucking, if you feel that way, if you feel like, if you're to a point, I've always been told if you're to a point you have to put hands on another man, don't even talk about it no more. It's already there. Just do it or just don't, right? But you look cool for a second when you're talking that shit. Everyone's like, ooh, like just like when you were kids in the schoolyard about to fight. Ooh, right? And then when you don't do nothing, ooh, right? Oh, he's a sucker. So you have to watch what you say, because when you say things and then you don't stand on that, people are going to talk shit, even more shit about you now. Because they're going to be like, you don't stand on what you say. That's like when Lefty and was at Hoodstocks. Remember, I hate to bring up bullshit, but he was at Hoodstocks and he got in the argument with Lucky, and we believe Lucky was faded or whatever. And they're cool now, but it was an argument, and then Lucky went off and was like, let's catch that fade. And a lot of people went in on Lefty because he chose not to catch that fade. he sat his ass down and said, you know what, bro, you're drunk, homie. I ain't gonna, we'll let that go. And there was a lot of people that immediately ran to the internet to type in comments to bump baking soda breath over the fucking keyboard to say, oh, Lefty's a sucker. Lefty ain't really with the business. All that shit he talks about in his rap songs, he ain't really with that. He ain't a gangster. He didn't get out of Pelican Bay. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. They were on his head because he chose not to fight. But see, what people don't see, what happens behind the scenes. Hey, I thought Lefty carried himself that time precisely the way he was supposed to. Don't fuck off your energy. Don't fuck off your bag. Hey, save that shit for off camera. No one knows what happened behind the scenes at the Vatos fucking... Well, I mean, they've already said it, but I'm saying no one would know unless you told them, man, it could have been like, cameras off now. Now what's up, homie? Let's go, right? Never, ever jeopardize your freedoms or anything on camera. Be smart enough to understand, hey, homie, there's a time and a place for everything. Unless it gets to the point where it's just like, fuck it. You don't care anymore. You're disrespected to the fullest, then you do what you do. Anyways, with Adam fucking apologizing, I'm sure Lefty appreciates that. I'm sure the people that support Lefty appreciate that. But it don't mean shit. I'm here to tell Lefty direct message. Don't let that snake get in bed with you, homie. Because he might try to swallow your balls. Look, that Vato is a slimy individual that slithers around, and his whole intentions are to bring you back in to make money off your name in a different type of way. See, I do videos and I mention Lefty's name, but I do it respectfully. Okay, and I tell you, and I will be the one to tell you just what the fuck it is. Straight up. That's not my persona. That's just my attitude in life. It's just like, fuck it. Let me tell you what it is, how I feel. And people appreciate that. But there are those that will smile in your face and then go behind your back and bite you in your ass, right? That's that. He's one of those guys that he's going to go apologize. Hey, bro, I'm sorry, man. I ever said that. I didn't mean to. And then the first time that you do something that he doesn't like or you don't agree with his shit, he's going to talk that shit again. That's just the type of individual he is. History repeats itself and history is proven. It's the type of man that dude is. Be a smart individual. See, one thing I can say about Lefty Gunplay is he did do time in Pelican Bay. He has done time on 4 yards. His work on his body, his resume has proven, it's been proven, right? I've seen it. I'm telling him this. Exactly, if you were on that yard, this is how I live life. Who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. That's why even myself a while back, I got introduced to a guy. Cool, man. Dude's a little popular. I was supporting the popularity. And then I go kick it, have lunch, whatever, meet him. He's a cool dude, laughing, very respectful. Then I get back to the pad. I get back to the lab, and I'm hearing, damn, this fool's a fucking omegazole. This fool's no good. And I said, I hit the brakes on it, man. I had to do my homework and figure out who was this motherfucker I was around, and then realize, shit, maybe it ain't as bad as people are saying, but it's bad enough. And I distance myself. I'm gone, homie. You never see me on camera with that individual ever again, right? Why? Because I'm of a sound mind and I'm of an understanding. Just like when I was in prison, there's certain people you can and can't be around because of you. Not because you're told that, but because of you. If I was on a yard, Adam was not one of the ones I'd want to be around, just based on some of the things that have been said about him, some of the things that I've read. I'm good, right? I'm good. Nah. You were talking to who? She was how old? What? Nah, I'm good. So I don't understand why people, pick and choose and just step over that and why would you even put yourself in a position to sit at a table and drink iced tea with someone who's been accused of shit like that? Oh, but there's no paperwork. He's never been convicted. I don't give a fuck, Holmes. Once you've been accused of that shit, hey, the best thing for me to do is distance myself, bro. I'm cool. Maybe not, but I'm cool, homie. You know what I'm saying? What if later on, then I'm going to feel like a poop butt. Today I don't feel like feeling like that. Anyways, Adam did contact Lefty, according to Lefty, and apologized to him. Let's see if Lefty pulls up to no jumper and does Adam the favor of fucking talking. After Adam and Wack just fucking tore him a new asshole. That Valto's got an asshole from his neck all the way to the bottom of his spine. They just ripped him one, right? But, like I said, Lefty has been maturing lately. He's been thinking about what he says. He's been slowing down a little bit. So we'll see how it works out, man. Again, people are like, who gives a fuck what he does? There's a lot of people that do, you know. And as someone that's brown and wants to see all sides come up, you know, I think instead of tearing this man down and talking shit, doesn't matter what side you're from, right? Instead of talking shit about his sexuality or talking shit about how he walks or talks or whatever, you know, we need to uplift this dude and uplift the guys from the north and everyone and say, bam, get that bag, bro. Open the doors for the Chicanos, for the brown men. Because we're trying to come up in that motherfucker and see what's happening. Because we ain't never been in there. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly and honestly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. This is the gun. Bang, bang.